Welcome. Thanks for joining us for our first craft beer information session. This is actually a rebroadcast of what we did earlier because we had a slight technical difficulty, but glad to go back through and talk about our programs. First of all, you can always look up information on us at www.tacoma.uw.edu/pdc/craft beer. So what I'm going to do today is go through a little bit of an introduction, history of the program, and then talk about the courses themselves: mastering beer styles, business of craft beer, fundamentals of commercial brewing, and then go into some of the future programs that we're looking at. At the end, I'll go through the questions that were asked and then also give you all a discount code to save a little bit of money. So hi, that's me. You may have seen me at the South Puget Sound Beer Festival at the Tacoma Dome or the Winter Beer Fest in Magnuson Park a few weeks ago. It was a great opportunity in both cases to go out and talk with the brewers and the folks that love beer and want to know more about our programs. So I had a great time. A little bit about our program. The UW Tacoma Professional Development Center started up in 2012 and has offered non-credit programming to help people learn the skills for new careers since then. We see a demand for high-quality educational and professional development programs across a large spectrum of topics, and you can check that out at tacoma.uw.edu/pdc. So in 2016, a local brewery reached out to us wanting to create programming for the craft beer industry in Western Washington. Their idea was that folks who want to open breweries should do it right and not lose a lot of money or make bad beer. So we did our research on what was needed, and this is what we found out. As you can see, I started off that there are more than 350 breweries in Washington state currently. That economic impact is $1.8 million approximately, and that also covers nearly 12,000 jobs. So as members of the National Brewers Association and the Washington State Brewers Guild, we're constantly looking for and receiving feedback on the skills needed by the industry. And what I've found is actually how generous craft brewers are and how much they help each other informally all the time. But as the University of Washington, we can harness that enthusiasm and make sure that our instructors from the industry and their guest speakers that come from the industry, you get that combination of practical and the academic. And so we can bring you the highest level of quality instruction needed to be a part of this growing field. So let me talk a little bit about the program history. Essentially, we started off in 2016, and we've since then done 125 students. I'm sorry, our first course was launched March 2017. That was Mastering Beer Styles. And then since then, we've expanded to 2 more courses. The Business of Craft Beer had its first cohort in January of 2018. We had 12 people start that class, 6 graduated, and I hope they're doing well. I need to follow up with them. We also are starting Fundamentals of Commercial Brewing. Our first course starts this January. So the question is, and while you're here, which course is right for you? Well, let's get into the courses themselves, starting with Mastering Beer Styles. So Mastering Beer Styles is a course that goes over 10 weeks. It's a 30-hour program, meets about 3 hours per night. A couple of those evenings, you are actually going through different field trips, but generally we meet in the evenings at regional breweries. The upcoming winter dates is very important to know. First class starts in Seattle at Lowercase Brewing Tap Room on January 28th. Then on January 30th, we start up in Tacoma at Seven Seas Brewery and Tap Room. And then, of course, we're offering these spring term in Tacoma and Seattle as well. You can go to the website. But we have a new location in Bothell at Beardsley Public House, and we're very excited to be partnered with them. I just went up there this week and got a chance to look at the space. It's an awesome, awesome place. Part of the thing, as I mentioned, we do brewery tours and field trips throughout the course. It's a good chance to get another feel for some of their beers directly in their locations, and it's also that connection that the industry has to each other. The course itself, Mastering Beer Styles, was created by BJCP Master Judge Trevor Nickel. He's one of just about 100 people in the U.S. with that title. It's an introduction to the world of craft beer and beer styles. There's Trevor, actually. You can read more about him. We have profiles of most of our instructors on our news site, center's website. But I can tell you a little bit. Like I said, he has been a master beer judge for several years now and participates in all the national events. He's teaching starting this January at 7 Seas in Tacoma. Also, our instructors at 7 Seas or in Tacoma has been Christopher Clark of 7 Seas and Dean Priba of Icicle Brewing. Have been also at those locations. John Marty is our instructor at Seattle at Lowercase Brewing. He is the head brewer there. As I mentioned, we have a new location in Bothell this April as well at Beardsley Public House, which will be taught by Dean Priba. So the question is, who should take this program? Well, we think everybody, of course, but starting off with aficionados, I think you get that greater understanding and love of beer. You get to go into those beer styles and show off and annoy your friends in very basic ways. Aspiring tasters and judgers. So this is the first step to take the BJCP exam so you can participate in those events. Homebrewers, I think it's very important for you to take because you do get that in-depth knowledge of all flavors. You know when your beer is going to be terrible and why in particular. So we do go into that process to an extent. I also think beer service and food server or beer servers and food service personnel. It would be great for you to learn this because customers demand a high level of knowledge about beer. They expect you to be an expert on why one IPA may taste hoppier than another, or why that German Rausch beer is going to be the next big hit. I actually think smoky beers are going to be very big thing in the near future. You can contact me and we can have that debate. I also think the same reasons. Front of house staff and management should understand the beers more, so you know what you're buying and why people are buying it. And then distributors, sales pros in the beverage industry. Well, of course, you want to sell your beer. So the more you understand, the more you can sell. So the course itself, the takeaways from the course are a comprehensive working knowledge of beer styles and its history. Understanding of basic craft beer terminology and brewing methods. We go through a quick bit on how that process is done and where the faults can happen. So this also, you learn the ability to promote, market, and sell beers effectively, and we give some tips on that. And then understand and utilize the tools, methods, and processes for evaluation and feedback of beer. That's getting into the beer judging side. And then you gain knowledge for the BJCP, Cicerone, and Cicerone certification programs. Just to let you know what BJCP stands for, it's the Beer Judge Certification Program, which provides the style guidelines for brewing and tasting in the U.S. and for local and national competitions, such as the Great American Beer Fest. And then the Cicerone is once referred to as beer sommeliers, essentially. It is their equivalent program. It's become the industry standard for identifying those with significant knowledge and professional skills in beer sales and service. Our course covers the core knowledge that would be the part of the first of 4 levels of this exam and certification. So let's talk about the business of craft beer a little bit. If you want to have an awesome looking bar like that, I would encourage you to take this course. So the course itself is over 20 weeks. Here's that tab. It's a 60-hour program. Meets weekday evenings in the classroom at UW Tacoma. There is a Saturday meeting for a set of Seattle brewery tours that our instructor has set up. The upcoming winter term dates, the program starts January 28th at UW Tacoma. Heather McClung is our instructor for that program. And there's Heather. So Heather's experience is she started Schooner Exact Brewing in 2006, opening and running it. And she has also served as the president of the Washington Brewers Guild, I think, for about 8 years. In fact, testifying before Congress on different issues to the industry. She's also recently become the head of the operations at Hales Ales in Seattle. We're excited to have her on board, and she's reworked our business program since last year and has gone into a lot more of the unique challenges of the beer industry, kind of from that experience from the ground up. And I think that's very insightful knowledge, and the people that she's bringing in will be able to share their experiences with you so you don't make the same mistakes in a lot of the cases. So, who should take this program? Well, primarily craft beer entrepreneurs and investors. So, whether or not you're looking to go into a brewery at a nano level or go to the micro size or the regional distribution of beer, you should look at this. And that's when you're coming from that home brew or scaling up, this is really getting you into that mindset. And if you're just looking at to create a tap room or a bottle shop, this is also the best way to go through. So you get that full understanding of the business of beer and what it takes at the different levels. Same reason for staff who are going into management. Understand the business, get an idea of what the financial decisions are based upon, and that will help make you a better manager. And then, of course, beer professionals, ancillary to the profession, I think distributors, suppliers, people who do creative media work, you get to understand your customer needs. So through this course, you are able to help them make the best decisions to grow and, as I said before, not lose a lot of money or make bad beer in the end. So the course takeaways, you get to define the type of craft beer business that you're looking to do and create that culture. You go through and look at the market landscape and understand whether or not there are opportunities in what you want to do and possibilities. And of course, you get to evaluate the financial scenarios and what it takes to make those decisions. So we do spend some time doing your basic understanding of financials. And as I said before, the goal is to address the challenges specific to craft beer entrepreneurship. I always like to say this part of understanding state and federal regulations compliance, we want to scare you a little bit so you don't make mistakes and that you stay in line. And it's a very important part of the program, I think, for everybody to take. And in the end, it's all about the customers as well. You want to design that customer journey, that experience. All of that comes down to that you will complete an executive business summary. Note this is different from an operations business plan. This is just really the top level where you can sort of suss down everything else from there and create a pitch for financing and partners and be able to do that elevator spiel where you are talking about your business. So then let's talk about the fundamentals of commercial brewing. It is a 14-week program, roughly 40 hours, meets primarily in weekday evenings at UW Tacoma. But it also has a Saturday meeting where you will be doing brewing some beer. You will go through a production process for beer at the lowercase in Seattle. That course starts on January 2nd at UW Tacoma with Christopher Smith. I know he's got several guest speakers lined up for that, and I've met a few of them, and looking forward to having that start up soon. And there is Christopher Smith. A little bit on him. Again, you read about his full story on our website, but basically, Christopher Smith started Lowercase Brewing about 5 years ago. He's the owner of it. This was after 10 years of doing training at Starbucks. One of his great accomplishments, I thought, was creating the systems and standards at the reserve roasteries. So his experience in making sure that the idea and actually the best way he describes this course is that it's all about moving the beer through the factory, and it's the same thing as he did at Starbucks, is helping people understand how things move through the production factory. So the question is, who should take this program? Well, everybody, but starting with home brewers, I think, is very critical. If you are looking to scale up in any way, this is the most important class you will take. Again, it will be fairly hands-on, and you will be able to see and understand what it takes to go up to the next level. Existing professional brewers, this is really important. A lot of conversations that Christopher has had with the industry is actually finding out, what do they need? What do the existing breweries in the region need to teach their folks? So he is basing a lot of the program on expanding the knowledge base for the industry. And we really encourage professional brewers, or people who want to go from just working the brewery, helping out, to actually going to this next level to understand the entire process. Same thing is said for operations managers and staff. So if you are working the front of house, you get to learn more about what goes on in the back of house. And so you could actually get that full appreciation for what's going on and where you might want to go. And if you want to become a business owner, so if you want to be investing in in a brewery, this again helps you understand all of the business decisions that you would be making in terms of equipment. So the takeaways, basically outlining the major steps in the typical brewing process, kind of going through nuts to bolts on that. Understanding the major components of commercial scale brewery. Again, you're dealing with a lot of different toys than you are at the home brewing level. And we go through and we'll point out the different equipment levels and types and what you would need in different situations. From that, you also can read and analyze a quote of brewery equipment from a manufacturer. That's, again, one of the guest speakers that will be coming in. They can go through that with you and help explain what everything means, so that, again, you're not buying a $30,000 piece of equipment when you may only need a $10,000 piece of equipment. Also, wrong way, here we go. We identify the causes and possible production pinch points and associated solution. Again, remember, this is production, and the idea is that you need to keep things flowing. So we will help you identify the areas of challenge and what you can do to solve those problems. And really, again, you're looking at that interworking system of a brewery and looking at it as a piece. In fact, your final project in this course is to build out, on paper, a full brewery of scale. So let's talk a little bit about future programming. Well, right now I have a working title for Operations of Retail Brewery Services. That's basically just a very long way to say that I want to create a course that is dealing with how you run front of house and the basics of training staff, hiring staff, that entire process. So that is something that we are working on creating for later this year or next academic year. We also wanted to create advanced workshops. You may have noticed a lot of these topics are fairly basic if you're already in the industry or in one part of the industry. So we want to make sure that we create more advanced topics that people can really dive into. And we're looking probably full-day workshops on those, and deep dives of quality assurance techniques, yeast management, get the microscopes out and see what's going on. A marketing workshop, more advanced marketing workshop than we offer in the business course, etc. So keep an eye out for those coming up in development for 2019. In the future, one of the things I'm really excited about offering are weekend or longer boot camps, destination programs across the state. So that's an area that you could actually go out, see the hop fields, go talk to the farmers, go to the malting locations and really get a sense and get your hands into it. That is a long-term goal, but I hope to get that up and running within the next year or so. Wrong direction. All right. So here's some things to stay up to date with our newsletter. Like I said, you can go to the website and we have a news section, or you can sign up directly for the newsletter, or you go to this website, http bit.ly/UWT newsletter. You meet the instructors on our website as well at that address, or contact me directly, and we can, like I said, chat about those Rauchbeers at 253-692-4672, or email me at ccellars@uw.edu. All right, let's save you some money. So for Mastering Beer Styles, we are looking at giving you a discount of $50 at any location. Use this code INFO SESS50, and you can receive $50 off any location. For the business of craft beer and fundamentals of commercial brewing, we're offering $100 off these courses. So you want to go and put in INFO SESS100 to receive $100 off business of craft beer or fundamentals of commercial brewing. These are valid through March 31st for the courses that are now posted online. That will allow you to get into the spring courses of Mastering Beer Styles for $50 cheaper as well. Business craft beer fundamentals, commercial brewing. Remember, those are starting up this January. So you want to sign up for those rather quickly. And we will be offering them next year as well, but we just haven't set the dates. But January start dates for business of craft beer and fundamentals of commercial brewing. Get that $100 off with this discount code. So the questions that we received, let me grab those from before. So one of the questions that came up was, what is my favorite program and why? Well, basically, I am a business person. That's my experience and background, and I am really excited about teaching people how to build and grow businesses properly. So business of craft beer is in some ways my pet project out of this, and I'm really excited that Heather's come in and is reworking it. I think that industry insight is critical, and that she's going to be a great addition to helping everybody build out their businesses. So another question that came up here was, are these courses taught by professors? No, they're not, actually. These are all industry professionals. I've worked with people, with professors on campus in designing parts of the program, but the instruction is primarily from industry professionals such as Heather, who started up, and Christopher Smith, who started up their own businesses and can give you that experience. The guest speakers are all from the industry and give you different tactics and experience that they've had. Eventually, we hope to expand this out further, and we'll see where everything goes. But and I do have a couple professors who really do want to contribute, especially on those advanced topics. They get into the biology side, and they're excited to be a part of that. But right now, it is definitely industry professionals, and you got to stay up to date on everything, and that's what's very important. All right, another question that came in. Can I pay with VA funds? Well, actually, you can. This is a VA approved program. Most of our courses at Professional Development Center are. Mastering Beer Styles and Business of Craft Beer were approved a couple years ago. We are in the approval process for Fundamentals of Commercial Brewing. But what you can do is you can sign up for it, and they will retroactively pay for the program as well. That has been confirmed. So it's just a big approval process. They all have the information. But yes, you can pay for these programs with VA funds. All right, here's the next one was, do you have to take Mastering Beer Styles course before you take anything else? Well, that's something that changed. I used to make it a requirement because I was thinking that there was going to be this very logical progression that everybody took. But I got to talking with the instructors, and They said that it's not really necessary. While they highly recommend you taking Mastering Beer Styles so that you get that common knowledge and common language, they are discrete enough courses that it's not really required. So we have eliminated that requirement to take Mastering Beer Styles before you take any other course. So I encourage you to sign up if you want to get into the business course or into the fundamentals of commercial brewing. Do it now. And so you don't have to wait. And then you can take Mastering Beer Styles next year. Is there an application? Was another question that came up. There's not an application for Mastering Beer Styles. That is completely open enrollment course, and you can just sign up directly. We did create an application system for the longer courses of fundamentals of craft beer or commercial brewing, fundamentals of commercial brewing, and the business of craft beer do have applications to them. What we do with that information, there aren't any really heavy requirements, except that you have to be 21 for all courses. You need to have at least 2 years of college or 2 years of business experience. We don't want people coming straight out of high school, which would in most cases be people over 21 anyway. And but the application process is to give more information to our instructors so they can hit the ground running with you. Do people go to class at the same time? Yes, this is not an online course. None of our courses are online at this time. This is all in-person instruction and in a lot of cases hands-on. Best way to learn about beer is to taste beer. So you are actually tasting the beers. Best way to learn about equipment is to actually see it and touch it and to go through it. Same thing with the business side. You're going to locations and you're talking to people. So in our opinion, being in person is the best way to go through this course, and you are all there at the same time. And as I said, these are evening courses primarily. So we understand that everybody is working, and we want to make this most convenient for you as possible. All right. Well, that was pretty much all we had today. As I said, you can reach out to me at my email is ccellars@uw.edu, ccellars@uw.edu, or you can call me at 253-692-4672. And of course, you can always learn more about the program by going to tacoma.uw.edu/craftbeer. Thanks a lot and have a great day.